Hello, Vanessa here. With me, I have Laelia and Alicia. And our topic today has to do with social media influence and the rise of hashtag Visco Girls, hashtag softboys, and hashtag basic bitches. With all the social media platforms that we have today, we're constantly on our computers and our phones. So we can assume that we have a basic control of ourselves on social media. Or do we? Well, I think of it as social media can be a great way to connect and share with others. But it can also be like that high school group of kids everybody wants to be a part of. Whatever they do, say, use, or follow can influence someone to believe or behave in a manner that they wouldn't have otherwise. These can range from body image to fashion, even security issues and politics.
Well, we sure can say that the American experience as of today, 2020, has been quite greatly defined by social media, as content from it reached users swaying their opinions, political beliefs, general beliefs, and perspectives. There is also the fact that Generation Z was basically born into the social media world. So let's take a look on how social media influence US politics and the government.
Definitely agree that social media can have a huge influence. For example, social media apps like Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, they bring up very huge influence on politics. We can often see the governments and the political personnel share the new happenings in governments and the news on politics on Instagram and Facebook.
These posts on politics that reach members of Gen Z can be seen on this Business Insider article. This talks about how Gen Z gets most of the news from social media. People who don't have a lot of time to read entire articles rely on quick, readable news from social media platforms. These platforms, especially Instagram, is one of the most popular places for Gen Z to get their political news.
As Katie Foster said, a 21 years old college student in South Dakota, social media has the ability to take out a snippet of an entire presidential speech that somebody gave and give you 30 seconds to 2 minutes that can completely sway somebody's opinion on that candidate.
Katie also admits to believing these short clips of information. As she states, "You're just being so caught up with everything. Especially being a college student, I don't have time to watch an hour-long debate. I'll be swayed honestly by a 2-minute video," which is sad to say. This proves how helpful social media is in this aspect.
When it comes to social media, it is very easy for someone to post anything they want on these platforms. So with more people using this type of media to rely on news instead of trustful media, there's a good chance of them receiving wrong or biased information.
This is a valid issue, as social media sometimes feel addictive, which the problem arises where social media has become a major platform for political information and discussion. And for further evidence, according to Pew Research Center, 68% of Americans have received at least some of their news from social media in 2018.
There is also the case that social media is often said to be invasive, since some apps collect personal information from its users, which then leads to its government who fear this to be a risk for national security, such as an article on CBS News by Leslie Gorenstein, which explains the issue of President Trump on an attempt to ban TikTok from the US. This starts in 2019, as TikTok, the 4-year-old company, has begun to trigger very different conversations, such as, is it a privacy risk? Is it a risk to child safety? And generally, most recently, does it jeopardize America's national security? This has been brought to the White House, where President Trump has launched an effort that threatens to end America's love affair with TikTok for good. As we know, TikTok is a video sharing social media service owned by Chinese company ByteDance. It has a simplicity to the service combined with the constant stream of often viral videos that has attracted an estimated 700 million users.
So, how much influence do social media apps have on US politics and the government? Well, that's a lot. Society is constantly being filled up with hundreds and hundreds of information every day, and that includes politics.
To some extent, social media provides a lot of conveniences. For example, we can notice that Instagram shares the vote information at the homepage, but sometimes information can be spread falsely, causing misunderstanding, especially when it comes to politics and the government. This has the power of creating big issues.
Now, are you considered masculine or feminine according to what social media apps tell us? Well, in 2020, there are different concepts for what it means to be masculine or feminine. On social media, everyone can have a voice, and therefore it seems that there are a lot of opinions on what is masculine or feminine. With the LGBTQ movement gaining more voice in society, different people and groups have different views and stereotypes.
For example, visco girl culture was said to be lesbian culture in an article by Rachel Charlene Lewis, where she said visco girls are just a new stereotype for lesbian girls because they do not fit in the box society created for feminine. And this means that they do not use normal shirts, they use oversized shirts, and they do not use dolly shoes, they use like Birkenstocks, and these both are said to be masculine.
There have also been some trends of TikTok boys as well challenging masculinity. This boy who challenged masculinity may be known in this new trend as soft boys. But what is a soft boy?
Well, a soft boy may be in definition or described as someone who subverts the expectations of masculinity. Think pastels, fluffy sweaters, chilling with foliage, and generally being a little cute.
A soft boy is just a twist of manicure lived in men in the 200s. The soft boy trend and its parallel to the soft girl is very notable because it reflects how Generation Z has been very easy on the concept of gender fluidity, and it also reflects the ways on which our generation is challenging the divides between femininity and masculinity.
Social media has made the standards of how female and male should act and look like, such as what many have stated. People have taken up the visco girls are basic. They all dress the same, post the same photos, and that they're just followers. And if you aren't a visco girl, then you are looked at as weird.
There is a specific reference of what Tara, a white female uniform gave in the college quotes. Being a visco girl is dressing super boho and being generally basic. She then goes on saying that our culture is turning into one of being followers. There is another quote by Anastasia G, a white female sophomore at New York University, where she states, "The majority of them are white, skinny, and wealthy, since they can buy all these high-end brands and expensive things. This may lead into the stereotypes of what a visco girl is: white, skinny, wealthy, and generally basic."
Now, there are some people out there who would disagree that social media takes a toll or impacts on individuals' beliefs, such as articles from Matthew Randa and Alexa Laelia. They state that social media has only little impact on users' beliefs, or really doesn't have any effect on how people view topics or that it sways people's opinions.
Yet, with all the information that has been said before, there have been quotes by people such as Katie who have had their opinions swayed by a 2-minute video on the presidential debate. There has been influences on people of what it means to be masculine, such as or TikTok boys challenging masculinity by wearing fluffy sweaters or florals. Social media really has made an influence on us.
To conclude, how does social media create and define the American experience in 2020? Well, looking back to all that has been said, it can be seen that it has a lot to do with the influence and the news that is spread to social media users. By social media influence, several people and groups have changed their minds on what feminine and masculine may mean, and sometimes these definitions don't all line up perfectly into one single direction.
When it comes to politics, people who are anti or pro anything will only show only what benefits their opinions and perspective on a certain topic or a candidate in the 2020 election. For example, in which people who view this may be easily swayed by their opinions, whether it's true or not. People can easily go with flow. In a whole, social media really does influence the American experience through opinions, movements, and beliefs, sometimes ending up being unified or divided.
And as always, thanks for watching.